Thank you, Scott. Roll call for approval.
Mr. Biesecker,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
Next item is August 4th minutes and July 19th minutes, which we had an opportunity to review. Do I have a motion to approve? So moved. And Maria, second. Any discussions or questions? Hearing none, a roll call for approval.
Mr. Biesecker,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
Next is for the monthly reports. And first up is Mrs. Brewer for Upper Valley CC update.
The only thing I have is their open house and scheduled pickup. I think was tonight too. Tuesday? Yeah, I think. That's all I have because I haven't been to the meeting since I was here last because I missed that one.
Thank you very much. Next, Mr. First.
Okay, I've got a couple updates here for us. First of all, construction. Things are going a little bit slower than, of course, but we are expecting bulldozers here as early as September 1st. So we've got a guy coming out and doing all the staking and checking out and staking and all that sort of thing beforehand. September 5th, I think, is when he's scheduled to be out here, but he was talking about mobilizing his forces even before that. So hopefully things go well. The weather will hold out. We'll go well with that. We have a motion on the agenda tonight for concrete work. We are still working through a few details. We found out today that the concrete didn't include the stone base underneath of the concrete. So we're trying to figure out who gets to pay for that and which contract and who gets to move the dirt underneath of it. Those are things that we kind of misread, shall we say, through some of the conversations we've had with our architects. So we'll get there, but there is a motion tonight which should save the district about $80,000. And then we'll have to take stone out of there and dirt work on top of that. So hopefully we'll be able to get the most efficient use out of our money for this. So that's what we're looking. One of the things I wanted to ask you guys is a groundbreaking or a ribbon cutting ceremony. We've talked kind of back and forth about that. I think there's a lot of benefits to doing something like that, but I didn't know if there were any objections if we did some kind of a public hoorah to say we're actually moving dirt. We've got bulldozers out here, so on and so forth, and roll from there. So if you guys don't have an objection, we'll kind of go that route and get it done. Football update. Right now, the team is right around 18 strong. There's, again, different ability levels of our kids. Chloe has been working on getting some scheduled games, and right now I know she's got 3, and I thought there were 4. Wendy, do you know? Yes. And one of those is, I think it's week 3 on a Friday night against Covington, who is also struggling with numbers. So I think we're going to have at least something here that will be able to keep the kids active, learning something through the year, and grow a little bit more for next year. So that's our goal. And many of those games will be Saturday mornings. So just to let you know, there's going to be probably another 1, maybe 2 games scheduled there for sure. But those will be probably on a Saturday morning. OSBA is scheduled for, I didn't write down the notes in front of me, but it was during
13th through 15th.
13th through the 15th of November. 15th of November is when we have our board meeting. So if anybody's going for a full day on Tuesday the 15th, we need to look at rescheduling that 15th board meeting. I figured at most I would go up on Monday and part of Tuesday and be back for the board meeting without any trouble on my schedule. I think I didn't ask Carla, but that's what we kind of did in years past. So I didn't think that'd be a conflict. But do any of you have aspirations of going for a dedicated full time at OSBA and be there late on Tuesday and not be able to be back for Tuesday's meeting? Okay. I figured you were one I needed to find out for sure. Is anybody wanting to stay the night over there at OSBA? Is anybody wanting to go to OSBA?
I really would like to, but I only get 3 personal days and I can't.
Okay, all right.
Have you seen the agenda? Is there any?
Yes.
I don't know if I got
We
that.
received some information. I thought this was emailed to you, but I'm not sure, but I can copy these and
I
send
did
them
do
out.
that.
You got that in the mail? I thought that everybody would receive these.
Why don't I send you a link with that?
That'd be
And
good.
that'd be easy to look through and you can see what's there. And they've got some, they generally bring in a guest speaker that's Jonathan Lithgow is one of the speakers this year. They bring in an actor or actress each year and a couple motivational people. And sometimes they're brilliant. Sometimes they're just fun to go to.
Yes,
So I'll send you the link.
that would be good.
We do need, one of the agenda items tonight was to have an OSBA delegate and alternate. There's 2 people not here, just saying. But I don't know, I don't know if Louis or Trey were planning on going, if anybody was. But just kind of keep that in the back of your mind as we get through new business coming up. And today we met with their new hires. We have 5 new teachers in the building. We'll also have 2 new people in the kitchen, including our head foods coordinator, Deb Deege, along with a new, we actually transferred some people around. So we've got a 3-hour dishwasher that's going to be hired tonight if everything goes well. So we'll have 2 new people there, plus our 5 new faces in the teaching staff. So I'm very excited about this group. Wendy, you went and had lunch with them today, and I don't know if you'd echo what I've got, but it seems very.
They're very talkative, has some great questions, and they didn't seem shocked by when I would say, well, we're going to graduate 36. We only have, class size or anything, that they weren't shocked by any of that. So.
Very good. And of the 5 of them, 3 of them have experience in other districts. So I feel very excited that we've got as good a group as what we've got. So, and even our newest hire, this late game, we usually we're looking for a warm body, but we got a really good person. So
Excited. She's very
yes.
excited.
So I'm excited about our group, and hopefully things go well. And that is the end of my report, unless anybody has questions.
Thank you very much. Sure.
Thanks.
I'm not going to have a lot to report tonight, mostly working on reports. Financial statement is always due 60 days after the end of the year for the cash basis tax statements that we have to prepare. And we're also going to be working on fixed assets. I keep bringing that up, but I am at the end of my rope. We are going to be doing that and having everything in place by September 16th. So that will be a long time coming. But most of what I'm working on now is just getting the reports. As you know, the new state foundation formula, the way that worked last year, we're more accountable than ever. So we have to do more reports. We have to let more people know how we've spent our money. And in line with that, I have the checkbook uploaded. We've talked about that. That's a transparency website. That's one of those things that I've often thought about. We could put it on the website, but it gives transparency to the school district. And I believe it's a very good thing in doing that. People can look up anything they like to on the website. And as you saw, it's really eye-opening to see some of the charts and see how we've actually some of the items where we've seen increases and decreases, and it's a pictorial view of that, and it gives us some information that way. And the only other thing we're working, this project has been quite interesting because of all the separate projects, and Mr. Hurst and I and Skip have spent a lot of time working on this. This is the paperwork we've gotten in so far. There'll be many more documents to come in, but there are a lot of things that we need to go through and proof, make sure that the contracts are in compliance and that we have everything in order. The construction meetings are once a week and everyone's in attendance, and it's been a good situation to work with all the people that are on board with this project. I think the end result's going to be very good. So with that, I'm going to conclude my report.
Any questions? Great, thank you very much. Next item is our public participation. So it's a discussion of the use of the federal IDA Part B funds, Title 1 and 2, and how they will be used. The funds will be used in contract services with Dark County ESC, which will provide special ed supervision, school psychology services, speech and language services, mental health services, adaptive physical therapy, clerical services, and other services that are necessary. Title I funds and how they will be used. Title I will be used to supplement 3 full-time positions, and the additional funds will also be used to cover professional development, including mileage and substitute coverage. The funds will also be used to purchase supplies for classrooms as well as for parents to work with their children at home. Any other clarification from the visitors? Thank you very much. And we end our public participation.
There you go.
And I don't have any other requests. Did you have any?
Nope.
So we'll move to the financial report from the treasurer, which is consent items 1 through 9 on our agenda. The superintendent recommends that we approve the financial journal, check register, permanent appropriations, endowment and certifications listed on your agenda, transfer and advances, temporary improvement appropriations, necessary amendments, approving the added cash funds for athletic cafeteria front office and central office, approving the rural educational program REAP for the year 2023 for $39,114. The approval and acceptance of grants from the Dark County Foundation, Sharon Moore, $2,500 for 3D render, Joe Hurst, $1,000 for a key fob lock on the weight room, Michelle Levy, $500 for elementary supplies for the Toronto program. I have a motion to approve those items listed. Thank you, Scott. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, I will call for the vote.
Mr. Biesecker,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
We have no old business today. Next is our new business. Consent items 1 through 14, the superintendent recommends approval. Item 1 is resignations and employment for cafeteria staff, a substitute contract for cafeteria, supplemental contract for National Society Advisor, and long-term substitute contracts for 2022-2023, and resignations of the and supplier. Item 2 is approval of bus routes for 2022-2023. Item 3 is giving the superintendent and the treasurer the authority to approve all student activity budgets for 2022-2023 school year. Next item is recommending the superintendent treasurer be authorized this school year to enter tuition contracts with other districts to provide education for students who are either residents of Bradford into the village or being educated in other districts or being educated in Bradford into the village as legal residents of another district, where a resident will also sign those contracts. Next is delegating delegates and an alternate to the OSBA meeting. Do we have any one to place as a delegate or as an alternate delegate?
Well, I say
Hearing none.
Pastor Louis and.
That's what happens to me at meetings. I can
Yeah, that's what happens when you're not here.
So, Pastor Louis will be the delegate. And I'll Trey be the alternate. And there's just be changed as the board deems necessary in the next coming months. So item 6 is approving all qualified employees for instructors for 22-23 at a rate of $20 an hour, not to exceed 5 hours a week. The next is a resolution declaring the transportation to be impractical for the district that's available for review. It's the standard one that we approved. Item 8 is approval of an annual in-state, out-of-state tuition rates for the 2022-2023 school year, as set by the Ohio Department of Education listed in your agenda. Item 9 is approving assignments for Title IX positions, coordinator, process and decision makers, Christopher Barnes, Joe Hurst, investigators, Michelle Levy, and Bob Daugherty. Item 10 is pursuant to state and federal law, recommend that the elementary principal and shall be delegated as liaison for homeless students. Item 11 is tuition reimbursement for tennis. Item 12 is approving additional payment in accordance with resolution 0652022, number 11, in the amount of $701.10. It was previously bid and refused with the track project in the bids for 226965 from Thunderbird S280. Next item, item 13, is an amendment of 3 contracts with Dark County ESC described in resolution 0592022 with salary increases in the estimated amount of $4,982. Item 14 is the Board of Education wishes to advertise and receive bids for the purchase of 1 or more school buses. Is a motion to approve the items before us?
I might make a clarification. Between 12 and 13, there's 2 lines there talking about there were previously bid and refused with the track project. That should have been moved to number 16. So I apologize. Yes,
So just these were previously, that statement goes to, attaches to.
should be
16.
attached to number 16. Yeah, for some reason that got lost in the moves today. Sorry about that.
So
So
that's
12 will
not,
stop with the black trend.
the
and then
red
Yes.
goes to 16 under the next
Yes, exactly.
section. Okay.
Sorry about that.
I'm sorry, didn't get it right
No, we didn't.
on this.
Okay,
And I will second. Any other discussion? So for clarification, item 12 is recommending approval of additional payments in accordance to resolution number 0652022, number 11, in the amount of $701.10. That's the complete motion.
Yes.
Any other discussion? Roll call for approval.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes,
And I should note too, the bus resolution that you just did, there's a grant out there that's all, we don't know exactly what it's going to be, we're going to be eligible for, but we hope that we'll be eligible for at least half of a school bus. The buses, what I've read so far, if we, I'll just throw this in as an example, there's 2 grants that are coming out. One of them is for clean energy buses, and there's as much as $385,000 available for each school bus that you purchase. Now that makes you go, oh my gosh, how much does one cost? And a typical bus is about a $96,000 investment. The new electric buses, which are a little bit smaller, but they're all battery powered, are about $10,000 more than the grant. So realistically, we'd be foolish not to look at it. So we put in this motion here tonight. So if we do get 1 grant, 2 grants, or a combination, we've got the ability to buy those buses. So.
Do you have opportunity to purchase the clean energy bus?
Correct.
Do you have opportunity to put that kind of devices into your
Yes.
bus barn as maybe go?
And I guess it depends on what kind of infrastructure we would look at. If it's natural gas, compressed natural gas or propane, that's an entirely different piece. The ones we're looking at is if we're building a bus barn, why not run 220 out there and charging stations within that bus barn to be able to pull in, plug in, and be set. So, and there is money attached for infrastructure as well. So that being said, we could get even the possibility of running that wire partially paid for. So
Very good. Will they last the amount of mileage that we need for typical routes?
we may have to.
for
stop the
routes,
charge.
yes. For anything more than that, right now, I'm still a little sketchy because I'm reading. Chloe's been looking at stuff. I've been looking at stuff. The stuff I read says 138 to 150 miles on a charge. What Chloe's reading is 70 to 80 miles on a charge. Now they're different bus companies. Maybe that's the difference. I don't know. But 70 or 80 would get us through a route, but then you'd have to plug in before the afternoon route. I'm not sure I'm real excited about getting too deep into something like that. So We'll see. We'll see. This doesn't tie us to buying a bus. This just allows us to buy a bus and apply for the grants.
Appreciate you looking into the opportunities.
See what we can do.
Roll call, please.
Okay, we
Yeah, we got that one. That one passed.
we have the roll call on
Yeah,
that one.
I discussed after you voted.
I
so-
know,
No.
so yeah, you got me out of sequence. Next item is item 15. Recommending consent calendar items 15 through 19. Recommend approval of assignment of contract funds and consent thereto with the Board of Education, Dustin Thunderbird, DA Thunderbird Farms, and excavating to order to facilitate a proper bond. Item 16 is recommend the following contract with the track project concrete work. Background A, the board previously identified a need to construct a track project. The project is outside the scope of the competitive requirements defined by ORC 1346. It is not done to include the improvement of the school building. The school board gives authority to the superintendent to analyze and award a contract to Jameson Contract Concrete at 675 a square foot, not to exceed $175,000. And then this is where you have the item or the sentence, these were previously bid and refused. The track project bids were $226,965 from Thunderbird Excavating and $259,000 from Onel Site Solutions. Item 17 as recommended revision of resolution 0172022 for the inclusion of the bid package 16A electrical addendum for short line power services Inc. for $12,800. A motion to approve. So moved.
I'll second.
And discussion. Questions or clarification?
Clarification, number 17, I think, is the big one here that really isn't explained in the motion. That is for the lighting along the new road that'll be out back. So the electrician with this motion will install 3 light poles to match what we've got out here and all the lighting or all the electric infrastructure underneath of it to do that. I don't know if you need explanation for 15 or 16. 16 was contract or the concrete piece that hopefully is going to work out, and we'll back out of that if we have to. But that's where we're heading right now.
Excellent. Any other discussion and clarification? Bring in roll call for approval.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
Next is motion to enter executive session for item G1 on the agenda.
And I have no reason to go into executive session tonight.
Does any board members have the needs? If hearing none, then a motion for adjournment. So moved.
Second.
Roll call for adjournment.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
Thank you very much for everybody's time. Have a great evening.
6:55.
Do you know